It's time to stay laser focused and not fall for any distractions. Listen, only minutes after poor inflation numbers came out for the month of June, Donald Trump sent out a Truth Social post calling for the prosecution of Democratic Senator Adam Schiff, which is a clear display of desperation and panic as multiple stories flood the headlines that are not really favorable to the current administration. We have the Epstein client list currently on the headlines of every single news station. I'll continue to relentlessly cover that, even in this video. But we also have poor inflation numbers. We have the price of food rising for middle or moderate income families, for low income families, which will kill families' abilities to support themselves on a month-to-month basis, especially as Donald Trump's unpredictable tariffs take effect. So I say once again, the White House is oozing panic and desperation. Before I even read off this long, manic Truth Social post where Donald Trump accuses Adam Schiff of some really small level crimes that the president shouldn't be worrying about, before we even read this, I want to start with the big headline that came from Financial Times earlier this morning. While I lay the groundwork, make sure you drop a like and subscribe below. This reads, U.S. inflation rose more than expected to 2.7% in June. This figure signals Donald Trump's tariffs are hitting consumer prices. After we learned that it rose to 2.7%, Financial Times points out the data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics comes as the U.S. president ratchets up his tariff war with Washington's trading partners, threatening to impose large levies on importers from next month if they do not reach trade deals. But it's all rather confusing because Donald Trump put Liberation Day tariffs on, then removed most of them, then reapplied them. He's collected little to no income from the tariffs. Any income that he has collected is easily washed away by the fact that he has isolated many of our closest allies, and this income is pushing away countries like South Korea. For example, we had a free trade agreement with South Korea that was negotiated in 2014. Obama signed a free trade agreement. South Korea was our ally, and we didn't need to play hardball. Yet Donald Trump placed 25% tariffs on them. South Korea also placed retaliatory tariffs on us, and now Donald Trump is trying to renegotiate the same trade deal for little to nothing. The point is, he is ruining our economy and gaining nothing from it. Trump has announced a host of tariffs since returning to office, setting a baseline rate of 10% and introducing an array of sector-specific levies. They always like to gloat this number. We brought in billions of dollars in tariff revenue. But please keep in mind, United States companies are paying the tariff. We are paying the tariff. It's not other countries. And then long-term, other countries push back, place more tariffs, isolate us more. It is very costly for the United States to be playing around like this, and we can even see that in the charts. Look at this. This reads, you can see the jump in inflation in June. Some key imports are starting to spike in price. You can see it in this year-over-year chart. It goes from 2.4% to 2.3. Then you can see it rise up to 2.4 and 2.7 again. Someone said, I thought Trump was going to bring inflation down. If so, why is it going up? And this reads right here, price hikes in June alone. You see a 0.5% increase in durable goods. Linens, 5.9%, oranges, 4.7%, olives, 4.4% increase. Cookware, up 4%. You see audio equipment up 2.9%, coffee, sports equipment. Now, eggs have come down from their huge peak. That wasn't sustainable due to the bird flu. But bottom line, this is just the beginning. We need to watch food closely. Increases with food are really tough on middle class and moderate income households, which is very, very true. We need to be laser focusing on food and other sectors that could affect middle to low income families. This screenshot right here from Jessica Tarlov then reads, Donald Trump calls for Adam Schiff's prosecution minutes after inflation numbers come out showing inflation increased in June. Coincidence? No. I think not. Donald Trump has hurt American consumers, has hurt the people that he promised to help, hurt small businesses. Now he tries to distract with red meat for the fan base. But this red meat is just prosecuting your political opponents for no reason. It is disgusting. And let's start right here. Let's read this post. Then I just want to debunk this idea that the president needs to be calling for the prosecution of a senator for anything. This reads, I have always suspected Shifty Adam Schiff was a scam artist, and now I learn that Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division have concluded that Adam Schiff has engaged in a sustained pattern of possible mortgage fraud. Adam Schiff said that his primary residence was in Maryland to get a cheaper mortgage and ripoff when he must live in California because he's a congressman in California. I always knew Adam Schiff was a crook. Oh, wow. Donald Trump is calling Adam Schiff a crook because he may have potentially had a primary residence in another state? Dude, Donald Trump has tried to overthrow the government. He's stolen documents. He was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein and is very clearly covering something up with his DOJ. He's using every single entity at his disposal to attack political opponents while also acting like the victim at the same time. And he wants us to believe that Senator Adam Schiff is someone who is a crook that needs to be prosecuted. Can I just remind you all, this is a big old distraction. The Financial Times, minutes before this, tweeted out, breaking news, U.S. inflation climbed to 2.7% in June, surpassing expectations and signaling that Donald Trump's tariffs are hitting prices. They directly blame it on the tariffs. There is no other thing that you can blame it on. If you look at the chart, it was going down in March, even in April before the Liberation Day tariffs, and directly off the back of Donald Trump's price hikes, we see inflation going up. We see consumer goods costing more. Someone who hit the nail on the head here is Jessica Tarlov. She calls it out very, very cleanly. She says, Donald Trump calls for Adam Schiff's prosecution minutes after inflation numbers come out showing inflation increased in June. Coincidence? No, I think not. Donald Trump uses these distraction tactics time and time again. I also want to remind you, in the middle of the night, literally at like 2, 3 a.m., key House Republicans voted to shoot down an amendment to a bill that would release the Epstein files. They were directly shot down. This is a play by the administration to divert, to try to distract, and they will do anything to take your eyes away from not only Epstein, but also from the inflation numbers that came out, the year-over-year inflation that is now not looking too good for the admin due to the repeated unpredictable tariffs that are affecting small businesses. In all of this absurdity, throughout all of the distractions and the insane things, I just want to point out a few things. Number one, let's keep our eye on the ball. Let's continue to cover Epstein, inflation. I think ICE is something that we'll be talking about a lot this week. ICE enforcement needs to be covered more because they are massively overreaching. But it is not the place of the President of the United States to target, using his social media platform, a senator and call them a crook who needs to be brought to justice. Read this last line. Crooked Adam Schiff, now a senator, needs to be brought to justice. I find this to be despicable and absurd. It is not the place of a president, before an investigation has been done, to start calling for the prosecution of sitting senators. What the absolute hell is he doing? We cannot stand for this. And if you want to keep your eye on the ball with me, subscribe below. Join the Adam Mockler feed. We will continue to double down on the coverage. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.